Hello, everyone. Today I'll be presenting on applied ethics. Applied ethics is one of the most practical branches of philosophy because it helps us answer moral questions we face in everyday life. Throughout this presentation, I'll explain what applied ethics is, where it came from, some important philosophers who influenced it, and how it applies to issues we experience in the modern world. My name is Abrar Zuder, and I'll be talking about applied ethics for my presentation. What is applied ethics? Applied ethics is a branch of philosophy that focuses on applying moral principles to real life situations. Instead of asking abstract questions about morality, ask how we should act in specific situations. It helps people decide what is right or wrong by using ethical theories to solve real world problems. We applied ethics in healthcare, business, technology, law, and even in the everyday choices we make. I pointed my examples over here: healthcare, business, technology, law, and everyday decisions. And a question to consider is how we should make ethical decisions. Historical background. The study of ethics began thousands of years ago in ancient Greece. Early philosophers wanted to understand what it meant to live a good life and how people should treat one another. As society changed, especially during the 20th century, new issues like medical technology, environmental concerns, and advances in science created ethical questions that required practical solutions. That's when applied ethics became a major area of philosophy. Some examples are medical advancements, artificial intelligence, and environmental concerns. Key philosophers. Several philosophers shaped the ideas used in applied ethics today. One of them believed that developing good character traits like honesty, courage, and kindness helps people make ethical decisions. Immanuel Kant believed that morality is based on duty, meaning people should do the right thing because it is morally correct, even if it doesn't benefit them personally. John Stuart Mill introduced altruism, which is the best decision is the one that creates the greatest happiness or benefit for the greatest number of people. Some ethical theories. These three ethical theories provide different ways to think about moral decisions. Virtue ethics asks what a person would do. Duty ethics asks what the morally correct action is, regardless of the outcome. Altruism focuses on the consequences and asks which choice will produce the greatest overall good. Even these theories are different, they often help us through difficult situations from multiple perspectives. And these are the three major approaches. Applied ethics in healthcare. Healthcare is one of the most important areas where applied ethics is used. Doctors and nurses often face difficult decisions involving patient care. For example, they have to respect patient privacy, obtain informed consent before treatments, and make decisions about organ donation or end-of-life care. These situations require balancing ethical principles while also respecting patients' rights and well-being. Applied ethics in technology and social media. Technology has created many ethical challenges. Artificial intelligence raises a question about privacy, fairness, and who should be responsible if AI makes a mistake. Social media also creates ethical concerns such as misinformation, cyberbullying, and protecting personal information. Applied ethics helps us think carefully about how technology should be used in a responsible and fair way. Everyday example. Here's a simple example of applied ethics. Imagine a cashier accidentally gives you $20 too much in change. You have two choices. You keep the money or you return it. Aristotle would say that returning the money shows honesty and good character. Kant would argue that returning it is the moral duty because it's honesty and it's always the right thing to do. Mill would likely say returning the money creates the best overall outcome because it prevents harm to the cashier and promotes trust. And I want to The question is, what is the ethical choice, and why is that your ethical choice? Thought experiment. This is called the trolley problem, one of the most famous thought experiments in philosophy. Imagine a runaway trolley is heading toward the 5 people on one track. You can pull a lever to switch the trolley onto another track where only one person is standing. If you do nothing, 5 people die. If you pull the lever, one person dies instead. This scenario doesn't have one universally accepted answer. Instead, it helps philosophers explore about consequences, responsibility, and moral decision making. What would you pull the lever? And yeah, these questions explore consequences, moral responsibility, and difficult ethical decisions. Why applied ethics matters. Applied ethics matters because ethical decisions are part of everyday life. Whether we're making decisions about healthcare, technology, school, work, or personal relationships, our choices affect other people. Learning about applied ethics helps us think critically, consider different viewpoints, and make more thoughtful and responsible decisions. The goal is to make fair, responsible, and thoughtful decisions as well. Conclusion. In conclusion, applied ethics is a study of applying moral principles to real-life situations. Throughout this presentation, we looked at its history, the philosophers who shaped it, and examples of how it affects healthcare, technology, social media, and everyday life. Although ethical questions don't always have easy answers, applied ethics gives us tools to think carefully about our decisions and their impact on others. Thank you for listening. Some references. These are the sources I used while preparing this presentation. Thank you again for listening. And this is my presentation on applied ethics. Thank you again.